Hey guys, welcome to Relegated. Welcome to another video, and right now it's time to do my La Liga predictions. I've seen some of you guys telling me to do the predictions for the La Liga. This took a little bit more time than I thought it was going to be, and I just want to let you know that this is just a rough estimate of what I think the La Liga table is going to look. I'm not confident at all of my predictions because I don't watch La Liga that much unless it's like, you know, the typical Barcelona, Atletico, Madrid, maybe Sevilla, Valencia, Betis when they were under, like, a little bit, like, you know. Other than that, I don't watch much La Liga. The Premier League, I have to say, is much more interesting to me just because they have the better managers, and it's just really interesting to see them play. In La Liga, it's fine, they have some decent games, but I had to do some research for this predictions, and it's like gonna be, I think this is like the best list that I could come up with. So at first I'm gonna start with the relegation candidates. Mallorca, I think, are gonna finish bottom. I think Moreno did a good job to get them promoted, but they were not even the best team in the playoffs. And I think that they just were they conceded far too many goals at the latter part of the season, and that I think is gonna be a problem in La Liga. Like, if you get caught by the likes of Betis, Sevilla, Sociedad, Valencia, Athletic, and all of those teams, I think they can really hurt you, and it's gonna be a problem if you cannot start adding points quickly. Defensively, I don't think you're sound. And for teams that's getting promoted, that's probably the most important thing if you're getting promoted from La Liga, from Segunda División into Primera. I think the second candidate is going to be Granada. They had a good campaign. They finished second. They were fairly solid during the season. I just think that it's far too much. Like, there's far too many teams that I think are better in La Liga already. Like, staying in La Liga is getting harder every season. It's just too much competition to stay up. I think that Diego Martinez did a fine job to get them ready to go into La Liga, but their signings haven't been too spectacular in my opinion, and they just are lacking. Like, you know, I think they could use another midfielder, and I believe that maybe a quick pace forward would help them a lot during this season. They haven't got that, so they're, for me, finishing 19th. At the 18th place, I think Valladolid, it was really hard. I had to change these two teams a lot, but if there's any team that I think could fall from, I mean, there's a few candidates, but I think the team that I'm most confident is gonna fall from last season, it was Valladolid. They had a really good season with Sergio last season. They managed to stay up. They actually were fairly comfortable at the end of the season. Like, they think they were safe like 2 or 3 match days before the season ended, and that is fairly good for the likes of Valladolid. I just think, like I said, I think the other teams strengthened better. There's some better managers out there. I just think Sergio's gonna have a really tough time getting Valladolid into getting them to stay in the division for another season. At the 17th place, I think that Osasuna could be finishing 17th. If there's any team that is going to finish safe this season from the promoted teams, I think it's going to be Osasuna. Fantastic campaign in Segunda División. They managed to get a lot of points, a lot of wins, and definitely it was very interesting to see what they've done this season. I think Arrasete especially has done a fantastic job with them. He's a manager that he's had fairly decent chances in other teams, and he's done a fairly decent job. I think Osasuna have the tools to stay up, and we'll see. We'll see. This all depends on whether these teams can manage to get a few wins under the belt at the beginning of the season, and that might help them nearing the end of the season. I think Celta with Fran Escribá are going to finish 16th. Celta honestly is one of the teams I really like from La Liga, like Betis, when they had Quique Setién. There's some of the teams that like to play like Barcelona, but since they sacked Unsue, I think that they really got into trouble. Like, Escriba's a good manager, but I think that like Unsue was just great, and just you sacked him just because you didn't reach Europa League. Well, now you look where you are. You were fighting for relegation last season, and I believe that you're still going to be fighting for relegation this season. It's going to be a problem because you lost Maxi Gomez. Although he didn't score as many goals as the previous season to that, I think losing the output that Maxi Gomez could have given you is a problem, and depending on a 30-plus-year-old Iago Aspas is not the best thing that I would recommend. I think that Celta are going to be in trouble, and especially if they lose Daiso Lobotka, even Iago Aspas for spells of the season, they could be in a lot of trouble coming next season. I think Levante with Paco Lopez, it's a good team. It's definitely a team that can hurt a lot of. They have really good, nice players. Morales, they have pretty decent players. They're a really intense team. They press very well. They defensively are not great. They're not particularly great defensively, but they do a decent job, and I think that they will have some spells when they get a lot of wins consecutively, and some spells where they will just be losing games consecutively. This kind of how I think it's going to go for Levante. They're going to have a decent season, and Paco Lopez is a good attacking coach, so we'll see where they end coming next season. In the 14th place, we're going to have Leganés, Pellegrino. I mean, let me tell you, Leganés, in my opinion, would be finishing 18th or 19th if it wasn't for Pellegrino, but he's such a great defensive manager that just sitting back and parking the bus, like, for a team that's trying to stay up, he's one of the best managers in doing that. He will guarantee you safety comfortably during the season, and that's all that you can ask for a club that size. And for what his goal is, he'll do a fantastic job for Leganés again next season. At 13th place, I think Athletic Bilbao will be finishing 13 with Gaizka Garitano. He's a decent coach. I think we saw him at the end of the season. He's a coach that doesn't really like to go forward that much and attack, but they do have tools to do so. They have the likes of Raúl Garcia, Iker Muniain, Inaki Williams. They definitely have some decent tools to attack teams in the break, and getting Inaki Williams to a contract, tying him up to 2028, I think it's been pretty good. That will be a boost of confidence for them not to lose their best player, and we'll see. Bilbao has some decent players. They managed to keep hold of the stars, and we'll see where they can finish next season. I think Espanyol will be finishing 12th with Gallego. I think losing Rubí was not great. Rubí definitely have a great season, and Borja Iglesias, he might be able to carry them from next season, but we'll see, because he's getting on in age, and this could be a one season wonder from Borja Iglesias. I want to see him repeat it, and then I'll be able to judge him. He's a decent striker, but I don't know if he will be able to score you again more than 15 goals during this next La Liga season. Eibar with Mendilibar, he's a fantastic coach. He's great attacking wise. Like, going to La Rosaleda it's absolutely horrendous. Like, it's really hard to go against Eibar in their own stadium because of how small it is, and if you try to play football, it's difficult. If you try to sit back, it's difficult because they do attack you very quickly. We saw how he utilized Cucurella last season, and that was very effective for him. And he has some really hard-working forwards that are gonna probably get him into mid-table, and it will be fairly decent for him, but at that 11th position. Villarreal with Calleja improved a lot at the end of the season. They were fighting for relegation pretty much during the whole season. It was very unlucky for them. They did lose Pablo Fornals to West Ham, but with some of the additions that they've done, and me thinking that Samuel Chukwueze could evolve into a real superstar for them, that would be really interesting. Cáceres is another player that maybe could explode this season. And getting on loans Zambo Anguissa from Fulham also is a really good signing, interesting. And I think that Villarreal, they've been lately a Europa League / Champions League side, and I believe that with the pedigree and experience that they have, they should be able to not repeat. They should be able to like just stay mid-table, try to stabilize the club, and who knows, maybe fight for a place in Europe if everything starts going well for them. At 9th place, I'm gonna go with Alaves. I said Gaetano did a absolutely wonderful job with Alaves, almost getting them to Europe. And to a club that size, it is like, it's like putting Bournemouth into Europe. Like it was absolutely fantastic to see Alaves. They've been having great work. Their philosophy of football is not my personal favorite one, but you have to understand that these are clubs that don't earn the millions of euros that Barcelona, Real Madrid, and other teams do. Therefore, what you should expect of them is not the same as you should expect from Barcelona. I think that Garitano has done a good job. He knows how to set up a defense, and in the counter, Alaves are going to be deadly as always. I think Getafe could be finishing 8th. This one is the one where I had doubts, the same way I had doubts with Wolves, where I put them in the Premier League, because Getafe in normal conditions I would put them maybe to finish 8th, 7th, or 6th maybe. But with Bordalas, he did manage to be really solid last season, but he's gonna play in the Europa League, and I think that's really gonna hurt them. Like, we've seen teams that have never played or rarely getting into Europe try to do Europe plus the league and even the cup, and that really hurts them. Like, it could detriment their season by January. They could start losing a lot of points. They're going to be vital for them to repeat getting into Europe. I think Betis could be finishing really high this season, but I'm gonna put them just at 7th, because Rubi is a great manager. I don't think that he's better than Sestién, but he's a good manager. He did a great job last season, and I think that, okay, you did lose Giovanni Lo Celso, but you did sign the likes of Fekir, who, it's my opinion, better at this point. And if you can keep him fit and have him being effective, you could have a really great season. Only problem being is that Betis are still lacking firepower. Like, they don't have anyone to put the ball in the back of the net. And although I don't judge anything on goals alone, you do need a goal scorer. You do need a player that's going to be able to put in the chances that you're going to miss. That you cannot be missing as many chances as Betis missed last season. Let me put it this way: if Betis put away the 50% of the chances that they created, or like if they put like as many chances away as they created as other teams on average put away of their chances, Betis would have finished in the Champions League last season. Because I believe they missed something like 70%. Like, every 3 shots or every 4 shots they score a goal or something, or every 3 to 4 shots on target. It was ridiculous. Like against Barcelona, where they lost 4-1, I believe they missed 7 or 8 shots on target. Like, it was unreal. You have to put those away, and Betis must do an effort to get themselves to be finishing in Europe. If they want it, they need a really good goal scorer. Sevilla with Lopetegui, I think you're going to finish 6th. Sevilla have signed some decent players. Andrés Silva has returned to AC Milan from their loan, and Sevilla have lost Pablo Sarabia. Unfortunately, he was really great last season. And also Quincy Promes to Ajax. They brought in Kuonde, they've signed Luke de Jong, they've signed Williams Dabour. They've done pretty decent business, but I think, again, Sevilla is a team that has been playing Europa League and La Liga for a couple seasons. They're used to this. Lopetegui is a good coach. I don't care what anyone says. Lopetegui, for me, has shown that he plays a good brand of football, that he knows how to organize a team. It's just that trying to organize a really bad Real Madrid side, I mean, we've seen it. Zidane, Solari, they're not able to do it, because with that group of players, you cannot do anything with that. I think that Sevilla will finish in 6th. They could go up, they could go more down. It depends really on how the season fares. I think Real Sociedad could be the surprise package of the season. I'm going to put them to finish 5th. I really wanted to put them 4th because they're not playing Europa League. They've signed really great players. At the time of recording, they still keep hold of Oyarzabal, Januzaj. They have Martin Odegaard on loan. They have Iyarramendi, Mikel Merino, Alexander Isaac, William Jose. They still have Diego Llorente. I think really is having his medical to join Montpellier, but they have Moya. Like, they have a really good quality crop of players, and I believe that one of the best young exciting forwards in world football, which is Alexander Isaac, which I really want Barcelona to sign him. I think that he would have been great as a Luis Suarez replacement in a few years' time. It's like they could really have an explosive season. Martin Odegaard playing along the lines, it's gonna be absolutely fantastic for Real Sociedad, and this could be his season to show Real Madrid that what he's really made about. Only problem being that even if he has a great season, then that means that there is a problem for someone else along enough in that Real Madrid team. But counting on next season, Real Sociedad could be getting into Europe, and I wouldn't be surprised if they finish in top 4. They could do good things, and it all depends on how some of the results come along next season. Valencia, I think, are going to be finishing 4th. Marcelino was really unlucky last season. I think he had far too many draws at the beginning of the season. Unlucky ones. Everything, like numbers, were showing that they should have gotten more points than they did. I honestly, points show that they should have probably been finished in 3rd, which is, well, not surprising because Real Madrid were absolutely horrendous. But Valencia did fairly well to get the points that they got. They finished top 4. They got to a Europa League semi-final. They won the cup. Overall, it was a really good season, and they could repeat this. They signed Maxi Gomez to help them score more goals, help them put some chances away that they maybe before they wouldn't have been able to put away. And in midfield, like, they have Ferran Torres, Carlos Soler, still have a really good crop of players, and maybe Rafinha will be joining from Barcelona and making their team even better. At the 3rd spot, we have Real Madrid. We have Zinedine Zidane's side. From what I've seen of preseason, they are in real trouble because defensively they are horrendous. Midfield-wise, I don't think they're I didn't understand letting go of both Ceballos and Kovacic. It's just not something I understand. Like, Kroos is great, but he has no help. Like, he doesn't help you press. Casemiro needs help. He cannot do everything on his own. Modric is getting on an age. Like, Isco doesn't press anymore. James Rodriguez, I don't know what's going on with him. Gareth Bale, we don't know what's going on with him. Apparently he was going to China, then he's not, then he's going to Bayern, then he's going to Manchester United, then the Premier League window closed. Like, it's just been a disaster for Real Madrid this season. Even though they've signed the likes of Hazard, Mendy, Luka Jovic, Paul Pogba's signing hasn't been done. Apparently Van de Beek is on his way, but apparently reports say that something got complicated negotiations. It's very, it's going to be a tricky season for Real Madrid because they've signed some good players, but collectively I don't still see how they're going to line up next season. And the most clear thing is I don't know what their clear starting 11 should be next season. Like on paper, it technically is Courtois, Carvajal, Varane, Ramos, Marcelo, with Casemiro, Kroos, Modric, and then Hazard, Benzema, and Vinicius, Gareth Bale, Lucas Vazquez, one of them. Like, I don't really know. It's difficult because in midfield you have no one to press. In attack, no one presses in that forward line. Benzema is not a good goal scorer, at least not a lethal goal scorer like Jovic is. And your fullback Marcelo seems to not be able to defend anymore, and he's not giving you the attacking contribution that exempts him from defending. Carvajal, well, he doesn't have a target man like Cristiano Ronaldo anymore to put those headers away. And defensively, we've seen that without Ramos being good at getting headers from corners, defensively he's just not great, and Varane seems to have lost his form that he had at the World Cup and in the previous 2 seasons. So it's gonna be an interesting season, definitely. And I mean, I hope that Real Madrid crumble and they finish 17th, but it's gonna be a really difficult season for them, and I think that they're not gonna challenge for the Liga this season. I'm never gonna take them out from any competition because they're really dangerous like that. We've seen them win 3 Champions Leagues out of nothing, without playing football. They've won 3 Champions Leagues, but I just don't think they're gonna be challenging for La Liga. I hope that they don't bite my thumb by saying that, but I really don't think that they've been able to prepare themselves to compete for this La Liga season. Atletico Madrid, in my opinion, will be finishing 2nd, but this is on a condition, and a very explicit condition. I think Atletico Madrid will be finishing 2nd because they lost Griezmann, Godin, Juanfran, Felipe Luis, Lucas Hernandez, Rodri. They've just lost too much. They've run in a lot of players, definitely, but they have to adjust to playing with Diego Simeone, which is not the easiest thing in the world. We've seen players taking at least 2 to 3 seasons to adapt to Diego Simeone's system. He's a coach that's going to demand a lot of you, and is in a system that you haven't played before. It could be very difficult to blend into the side. I think that giving Joao Felix all the goals, all the responsibility to create and score goals, it's a lot. I think Morata's a good goal scorer, but I think between him and Costa are not going to score you more than 20 goals in the season, and then asking Joao Felix to give you 15 plus goal contributions, it's a lot of asking for a teenager. Your midfield will be fine, your defense should be alright. In theory, you should be finishing 2nd because quality-wise, you haven't decreased that much, and you've made the team a lot younger, which is really good for Atletico Madrid. They could be getting into a new era, and maybe they could be really challenging for the title next season. I think Barcelona will be finishing 1st, and this is where the condition comes from, because I believe Barcelona will be finishing 1st if we don't sign Neymar. If Barcelona sign Neymar, I would put them 2nd. Why? Because Barcelona are a worse team with Neymar than without Neymar. And let me explain this. Barcelona with Neymar are forced to play a 4-2-3-1. With Neymar on the left, Griezmann on the right, Messi at the middle, and Suarez up top. Now, you would say, why do we have to play a 4-2-3-1? Well, Messi is going to play always. Neymar is going to play always. You didn't sign Griezmann to never play. And Suarez is never going to be benched. We've seen this before. Suarez is never going to be benched. At least not for long spells of the season. That makes you having to play a 4-2-3-1. Now, if Rakitic stays and Busquets stays, which everything looks like that way is going to stay, then who do you think is going to be our double pivot in midfield? I'm going to tell you. It's not going to be Arthur. It's not going to be De Jong. And it's not going to be Vidal. It's going to be Busquets and Rakitic. Now, please tell me, how does that set up for you on a tactical sense? Like, with Neymar right now, forget about the personal. How do you set up that tactically? Are Rakitic and Busquets able to press? We've seen that they're not able to press. Is Neymar gonna sacrifice himself to press? No, he's not. Neymar for a long time hasn't been a player that helps defensively at all. Griezmann can press a bit, not much. We're not going to ask Messi to press ever because he gives far too much in attack to be wasting his energy defensively. And Suarez is 33 and not able to press as he did before. So how are we going to recover the high press if we have a team that sets up like that? Which is not actually a 4-2-3-1. It's more of a 4-2-4 because you have 4 forwards instead of two double pivots and 3 midfielders, 3 attacking midfielders, and one striker. So I just want to let you know that's what happens. What is the difference with having Dembele in the side? The difference is Dembele can be used from the bench. He will take a more sporadic role this season. He will understand that his chance will come. He is younger than Neymar. He's 5 years younger than Neymar. And honestly, I believe that we are a better team without Neymar for that reason. We can play our 4-3-3. We can play Frankie De Jong. We can play Arthur in the midfield. We can start bringing in Ricky Puig into the side. Arturo Vidal will give us a lot of intensity. And then Ousmane Dembele can come in the second half and affect games with his pace and start some of the games that we need to rest. One of Suarez, Griezmann, and Messi. Like, if we bring in Neymar, it's trouble, it's problems, and we're not going to be able to set up tactically in any way, shape, or form. That is my predictions for the 2019-2020 season. I think that there is some conditions. Like I said, it's not as accurate as I would like it to be. I am not as familiarized with La Liga as I would like to be. I just don't have the time to watch that much football, and the Premier League honestly interests me more in that sense. But with all said and done, let me know your opinions in the comment section below. What do you think about the La Liga? Who do you think is going to be finishing in? Who's going to be the champion? Who's going to be finishing in the top 4 in the Europa League? Who's going to be getting relegated? Let me know your opinions in the comment section below. Comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one, Blaugranas.